I want to
Feminism.
say maybe like about 10 years ago, there started to be a conversation amongst social media, right? Where it was like, well, women don't have anything to offer besides servitude and sexual relations. And I think a lot of women then started saying, okay, because you got to think about it. That conversation started of what do you bring to the table? And when women started just being like myself, people were responding with that wasn't enough.
That's not an
So
answer though.
women started hearing men list off the things, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. This just goes into my point.
I think
Women
Lady Di
started
was going to
hearing,
educate you on what men were expecting you to say if you were communicating some value, and it wasn't money. I think Lady Di's
well,
been hit
no,
on it. Go ahead, Lady Di.
I understand that it's not money, but that's where the confusion came from. The confusion, and I hear a lot of women say the confusion came from they went and did these things because they heard men say what they valued in themselves as a man. And a lot of women took that as, well, maybe that's what I need to have for him to see me as valued. And so they went and got a six-figure job. They went and got
Oh,
a
okay. So
house.
you're saying they thought we were saying, oh, we need you to
Yes.
bring money.
That because you have when they heard you say I am a six figure, I'm not a six figure, I'm a high
Let's be
value
honest,
man
ladies.
because of
Let's,
this.
that don't have the ring of truth to it. Let's be honest. Who did you hear that? Who did you hear coin that phrase? Is it
What
safe to
high
say
Lady
that you
value
heard?
man?
Lady
No? The what do you bring to the table? Is it safe to say that you heard Kevin Samuels say that on countless times with sessions with women?
Yeah, a lot.
So do you not hear him follow up and say men don't want your money? So if you heard these two things, how are you getting from that women were confused thinking they was talking about money when the man who coined the phrase and the whole entire stream was adamant about no, it's not money.
But I
Because
don't.
women don't be listening. They just be listening with emotion, first of all.
Okay,
It
well
was
I can
very
I can agree with
So
explained.
that then.
It was
I got a
very
question.
explained in those videos. And if you actually, if you dated, you say you're married, Leisha? How you say your
Laisha.
name? Leisha?
Yes, Laisha.
How long you been married?
So I've been married for 3 years. I've been with him for 10.
Okay, because I was gonna say you've dated other guys, right? And you've had conversations with other
Like in
guys.
high school, I
Okay,
met him when I was 18.
so you
So
don't have any dating experience. So when you're hearing other women talk, because that's what you're voicing your speech on is other women speaking. You're
yes,
not listening to what is actually happening. You're hearing what they're saying, but you're not piecing it together. So that's where a lot of women get. Luckily, I'm glad you're married, but if you wasn't married, it would be very hard for you to get married thinking like that on other people's thoughts. You got to figure out the dating market, figure out what men want. And
mhm.
if you're trying to get married, you know, kind of adapt to that. So obviously money is not nowhere on the table. Some men do require their women to work or whatever, but I don't, besides that, they're not looking for money like that. They're looking for you to be a good wife, a good mother. Most of the time, they're looking for a good mother because if you're a good mother, you're a good wife. So all of these things, all these qualities, like when you said they're looking, what you bring to the table is yourself. That's not an answer. What the hell is yourself? I could put myself there. Okay, what am I gonna do? Because people that are stay-at-home moms and housewives, there's some of them that don't do shit at the house. They just literally sit there, watch TV. The kids be running around or probably at fucking daycare or something like that, and the man come home, there's no cooked food, the house is not clean, they're not clean, their hair is not brushed. It'll be a whole bunch of stuff going on. So bringing yourself to the table is not anything. You have to bring more value. What is value? Well, you got to ask your man that. Ask the man what the value is, and then
Mhm.
you do that if you want to be with him. That's how that works.
Let's go ahead and
Um,
get Shannon there.
so
Yes.
I love how the black community thinks that people ain't a two working household. Y'all got y'all got men taking care of the whole household like it's the majority. I know some of you are blessed in that area, but in most black households, two people bring home the income. The last I checked, right? So, and that's I just wanted to get out of la la land right there. But I understand what you're saying. Like you're right. I think that there's a time to be at home and a time to be, to be present at home and a time to be at work. Unfortunately, I'm a teacher. I grade papers at home. I have lesson plans. I have to have parent teacher conferences at home. Do I say F them kids and don't do it? You know what I'm saying? But y'all's kids rely on me, right? So, I mean, unfortunately, that's just not the reality in some people. Like, if you, of course, if you are a business person and it's about greed and all that kind of stuff, I get it. But I think that that does happen with, I mean, compromise is important. You being with a partner who understands, like, look, you know, I got a tutoring session. I got a kid who's falling behind. I told the mom I tutored the kid, you know, and your partner sometimes, of course, you don't want it to be all of the night, but there may be a little time outside of work that you have to do those things, especially if it's a two income household. You understand what I'm saying?
I
So
understand that,
your, huh?
but you're missing it though. Like we agree that you need two incomes or whatever in a lot of these cases. But the scenario that we were talking about is a woman who a husband had figured it out, and he wants to go into his own business. And he wants her to accompany him in accruing the revenue necessary to sustain the resources instead of having to go and work in corporate America for a race
So
that's
was
going
that
to
the
benefit. Hold
original
on, wait,
question though?
hang on. But
Was
can't
so
you
so
hang, hold on?
so so
Can't you see how if a man is put in this situation and everybody's on his back saying y'all don't create generational wealth, but he's got an opportunity to pull the resources on their own as man and wife so that they can pass an inheritance down instead of working for the man outside of the home. We can take it and we can go and grow our crops, do whatever, open our own practice and be able to pass the whole practice down to our kids. But then you got a woman who says, no, fuck that. I want to go work for the man. And that man is passing his practice that she worked for down to his kids. But when she can work for the practice that I'll just open up and we can pass our practice. Can't you see how that is bad?
Excuse me.
so
To be
I get
fair,
so so
I'm so sorry. To be fair, I'm answering this from the perspective of a business owner. And a startup needs some type of foundation. And me staying at a job because he wants to open up a practice is going to help us at it as this business grows. I can help at my job because do you understand how hard it is to start a business and keep that business afloat for the first 5 years? I am making that decision not only because maybe that's something I want to do with my life because that's my career, but I'm also making that decision as a wife that knows how rocky a business is. And house bills have to be paid. Something has to be done, and someone has to have some type of steady income. So, because I know about startups, that is a good decision for the So marriage. you should have led with that because when you answered the question, you
Yeah,
said that's what I want
it
to
changes
do.
things.
Yeah, you're
It
changing up with
it changes things because basically what she's saying
because
once the business once her husband's business gets steady, and she'd be more inclined to go and work at the front desk. But that
right.
wasn't the energy I was getting when I initially asked the question. So it changes things. But you can kind of see how it was a confusion there. You get what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
not
Can I
trying
I
to.
can I
understand.
ask
It was
this?
both of the things for
Can I
me.
ask
Yeah.
this? Is it supposed to, like, let's say these are two completely opposing fields of work. Like, if she's a partner at a law firm and she worked hard to get there, are we saying that we expect her to, like, leave that to then become the receptionist at his doctor's office?
Well, that's the question. Would you do it? Would you do
Me
it?
personally?
Would you
Yeah,
do it?
you.
No.
That's
Why are
that's
you
what I'm
laughing?
fucking stuck.
Hold on.
No.
So
No. In that in that particular
Oh,
scenario that I just said, in that particular scenario that I just said, right? I'm I want to also clarify when I think of somebody saying like I am a partner at a law firm, okay? That means
That
now
means you
my
own a percentage of the company, right?
yeah, and my name is on that door and I took years of schooling. It's obvious that this is a part of my passion. I really wanted to go and do that. To then step out of that, step out of
We
my
didn't say.
passion
Listen,
to be a
how much?
receptionist?
no,
Okay,
you're
let's play. Hold on, let's play the game.
I get it.
How much of a percentage of the partner? How much a percentage of the company do you own? Of the firm do you own? Let's just say 30%. They put you on at 30% ownership partner.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably like 30, because usually it's like what, 3 names on the door at one time.
Well, yeah, you sell your 30%. You take that 30% revenue or whatever, and you put that in your husband's business, and now you can scale. Now y'all got a family-owned practice or whatever the hell it is, and now y'all got generational wealth for your family. Isn't that better to work with your husband than somebody else?
I think that the space that I would be coming from is that if I really love to do something, can I not still help you and still be a practicing lawyer is what I'm asking.
We're
Like, can I not do
we're
that?
exposing why Black people cannot get this shit right.